When opportunity knocks, don't answer the door in your bathrobe. We need to be prepared for the things that are going to happen. We need to be prepared for training. We need to be prepared for school. We need to be prepared for the day. We need to be prepared for life. We need to be prepared for success. You have to prep yourself if you're trying to be good at something. You have to prepare yourself. If you want to lift big weights, it's a long progression. It's a long story. It takes a long time to be good at lifting. It takes an even longer time and a crazier dedication to be great at lifting. It takes everything that you have to be good at something, and it takes that much more to try to be great. The good news is those who seek will find, and those that give will receive. It's a very simple concept. Those of you that have been givers your entire life, you're about to embrace and about to embark on some good, because some good will come of it. You may not know why you're doing certain things. You may not always understand what the reasons are. But I have dedicated myself to years and years and years of lifting. And then somebody might say, well, how'd you come up with an idea like the slingshot? I didn't come up with the slingshot because I needed an idea. I came up with the slingshot because I found an idea, because I was searching for one. I was seeking something out. I was searching for something that maybe I wasn't even aware of that I was searching for. And what I found was a bundle of wealth. I had no idea what it was going to really result in. I had no idea that all those years of training were going to result in the things that they did. But it manifested and turned into what it did because in my lifetime, I have worked towards, I used to really suck at this, I have worked towards being in better control of my life. And you can control a lot more things in your life. I'm hearing people all the time telling me that they're depressed and that they have anxiety. And there are some people that have some really hardcore conditions that are overwhelming and that are very hard to overcome. But for the most part, when I hear a lot of people talking about anxiety and depression, they can handle a lot of these things on their own. A lot of things can be handled through diet, through exercise, and through being prepared, preparation for each day. If you had a string of bad days, my first question would be, what have you done to prepare for a good day? Or have you done anything at all? The preparation for a good day starts the night before, the day before, 2 days before, 3 days before, the week before. Think about when you're planning out a vacation with your family. You're not just like, we're going to go to Los Angeles. And you just kind of figure it out when you get there. I mean, occasionally there's a couple things that are on the fly, but you try to prepare things, especially if you have children. You're like, all right, well we're going to go to Disneyland, and we're going to go to the Staples Center and maybe see a Lakers game, and right? You plan a couple things out. We're going to go visit this museum on this day. We're going to go see this play on this day, or whatever the case is. You're going to plan out certain places to eat because you're trying to enjoy yourself. You're trying to have fun, right? And you think about some of the things that we prepare ourselves, it's usually like in the form of like entertainment. And it's not in the form of really truly taking care of ourselves. And if we took care of ourselves better, we would have to entertain ourselves less because we would feel better in general. We wouldn't have to have these external things entertaining us all the time. So how do you get yourself prepared? Well, you prepare yourself for the next day by doing what's needed on that particular day. So a great way to show that you care about your next day, if you have a meeting the next day, get yourself prepared for it. If you're preparing to lift the next day, let's say you know that you're going to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, let's say you know that you're going to go to the gym at 8 o'clock and you're going to train. Well, you need to start prepping for it the day before. And you start prepping for it with your meals. You start getting ahead of it. Think about bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is a great example of all this. Bodybuilders prep their food. And now more than ever, powerlifters are prepping their food, and CrossFitters are prepping their food. Why? Because if you're not prepared, then you prepare to fail. You're accepting bad. You're accepting that bad things will happen because you're not ready. When opportunity knocks, you need to be ready. You need to be ready to go. You need to be ready to rumble. And the only way that you're going to be ready to go and ready to rumble is if you take the time to prepare yourself. The preparation is going to be the thing that separates you out from that other person. You think about when you prepare yourself for your workouts, you end up lifting more weight. There's a lot of bugs out here in Davis, California. You think about when you are when you prep yourself to lift, and you get in the foods that you need, and you get in the coffee that you need, you get in your favorite pre-workout and your aminos and all these different things. When you get in all those things, then you are setting yourself up for success. Super Training Gym is designed and is set up for us to be as successful as we possibly can be. We left no stone unturned. There's not a piece of equipment that we don't have towards getting stronger. We have enough plates, we got enough collars, we got enough help, we have enough of a team, we have enough various forms of equipment, we got enough bands, enough chains, enough this and enough that. Everything and anything, whether it has proven to be amazing for us or not, is in that gym. And it's all in preparation of trying to be better. I did not realize years ago that I was suffering for the unknown. I didn't realize this when I was getting super sore doing squats, and when I was trying to gain an inch on my arms in one day, and when I was doing a German volume training and Bulgarian training methods that had me training 2 or 3 times a day. I didn't really realize what all that suffering was for, but it prepped me for the future. It prepped me for the things I'm doing now. And so the disciplines over desires. Be more in control of yourself. Too many people are living their lives out of control. They're spending more time out of control than they are in control. Staying in control is going to be something that can lead to success, lead to happiness. Somebody recently made a post on my Instagram and said, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of your page. It's all about business, and it's all about you being successful and you being full of yourself, and it's all full of ads. Well, my Instagram is a reflection of me, and it's a reflection of my business. That was a great observation by the guy. He caught me, right? I do promote my own business on my Instagram. I do promote the fact that I have a free gym. I do promote the fact that I have given out more free information in the history of fitness than anybody. Stack me up against anybody. Stack me up against anybody. Go ahead and do it. I put out more information. That is a fact. It does not make me full of myself. But even if it did, you should be full of yourself. Because who else are you going to be full of? You're going to be full of somebody else? I'm going to be full of other people's thoughts and other people's drama, and I'm going to be full of what other people think of me, and I'm going to be full of thinking about what they should be doing rather than focusing in on what I should be doing. You should be full of yourself. It feels good to be full of yourself. You don't need to be humble. You don't need to be an asshole. But this whole idea of being humble all the time and keeping things to yourself, one reason why people are saying that nowadays is because people can't handle somebody else's success. If I told you that I just bought a brand new $2 million house, you'd be pissed. I don't know why. Because if you bought a house, I'd be pumped for you. People come up to me at trade shows and they say, hey man, like, I've been listening to your stuff for a long time and you got me into lifting. I don't shoot them down and say, oh my God, I don't know what to do with your success. People come up to me and say, hey man, you know what? Because of some of your videos, I started powerlifting and now I deadlift 800 pounds. Just because they deadlift 800 pounds, I'm not shooting them down. That's more than I've ever done. You gotta think a little bit better than that. Too many people are spending their life out of control, spending too much time out of control and not in control of what it is they're doing. People haphazardly will celebrate. They'll celebrate these holidays. They'll celebrate these birthdays. They don't even know why or what they're doing. People go out drinking and get hammered on Cinco de Mayo, and it's not even part of their normal family tradition. Or people will go out and get shit-faced on St. Patrick's Day, and they're not Irish, or they're not part of the celebration, or they're not... It doesn't make any sense all the time. It's just that people are looking for an excuse to be out of control for a while. Halloween's an excuse to eat Halloween candy, right? When you feel the resistance of life, push back into it. Lift it with extra force. When you feel life's resistance coming at you with 400 pounds, put 500 pounds into it. Push back. Don't be like everybody else. Don't walk like them. Don't talk like them. Don't be like them. Be made out of something different. In order for you to be made out of something different, you have to be prepared. That means you have to do stuff earlier than when it's actually going to happen. Prepping your food is a great example of this. We go on trips all the time with our company, and it's rare. It doesn't happen anymore because it's part of our culture now. It's part of the culture of Super Training Gym and of Slingshot, that when we go somewhere, you're prepared. You're always prepared because you don't know, a workout could break out at any moment at any of these events. And you don't know how long we're going to be gone for. Sometimes we go to San Jose, it's about 2 hours. Sometimes we go to Los Angeles, it's like 7 hours away from where we are. You have no idea how long we're going to be gone for. We might leave at 5 o'clock in the morning, might not come back till 10 p.m. as we've done with visiting our boy, Jason Kalipa. And knowing that ahead of time, you would have to be a complete idiot to not plan ahead. What, are you just going to go hungry the next day? How old are you? You 5 years old? I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. And you have goals. You know full well your work schedule. You know what each day looks like. So why not, there's a saying, don't start your day before it's finished. Finish your day. Calculate your day. Write it out. Write it down. What does it look like? Write out your day before you even start it. You got to leave some time in for dicking around, right? Because dicking around is important. And dicking around is how I came up with so many great ideas, because I'm a doodler. I'll show you guys my handy dandy notebook one of these days and show you guys what's in there. But it's because I sit around and prepare for the future. I sit around and I think about my future. I think about what I'm doing. What do I want? What am I looking for? Do some soul searching. He who seeketh findeth. If you are in search of something, you will find it. If your why is so powerful, it will outweigh whatever the how is. You won't even ask how. Oh, how am I supposed to diet without having bread? Dude, suck it up. Stop being such a pussy. Girls, stop being such a dick. Can I say that? Is it supposed to be opposite from one sex to the other? I've always wondered that. Plus, being a pussy, I don't know, isn't that everything we all desire? As dudes, anyway? Well, I guess pick your preference on whatever it is you like. No judgment placed here. Hashtag no homo. Hashtag no hetero. Anyway, I mean, people are oftentimes too weak-minded. Too weak-minded to even be prepared for the things that are coming their way. You have to be willing to accept that things will be bad. Things will be shitty if you're not prepared. And you have to accept the fact that things will be great when you are prepared. And you can think about how thankful you are that you prepped for the day, that you're prepared for the day. I don't travel anywhere. This is a great example. I don't travel anywhere without baby wipes in my Super Training backpack. For obvious reasons. I'm always prepared. I'm always ready to go. Don't be surprised. Don't be shaken by any of the things that are going on in your life. Don't be overwhelmed. I got in a text thread today with a CEO that I recently have had on my podcast, and he texted me back, and he was like, "Hey, how's like Monday work for a phone call? Because I'm swamped over here." Garbage mindset. Horrible mindset. You're swamped, and I'm not busy. The person you're sending that to is not busy. You're more busy than everybody else. No, don't respond with that. When somebody says, "Hey man, you got a minute to talk?" If you don't have a minute to talk, you can deflect by saying, "Hey, would Monday work better?" They don't need to know what you're going through at the moment. They don't need to know that you're in a fight with your girlfriend or a fight with your wife or whatever. They don't need to know any of those things, right? You can also spin it in a different direction. You can say, they say, "Hey, you got any time you got a few minutes to talk?" And you can say, "You know what, dude? I'm picking off things left and right over here. It feels good. I'm doing a lot today. How about Monday?" That's different than being like, "Oh man, I'm swamped." Makes it sound like you're overwhelmed. He who is overwhelmed is distanced and crushed. Crushed. Don't be crushed by the weight of the day. Don't be crushed by the weight of life. When the weight of life gives you that resistance, push back. You already know how to do it. You've already been training your whole life for it. You've already been lifting. You've already been hitting the gym every day. You're in the gym for an hour and a half. What are you learning? Are you learning how to get bigger muscles? Are you actually a meathead? Or are you learning the values of life under the bar? Are you learning what training has to actually offer you? I used to go around and think that people can do whatever type of training that they like, and that people don't really have to lift. They can just, as long as they exercise, they'll be fine. I no longer believe that. If you don't lift, you're a pussy. Plain and simple. You got to be lifting, because you have to know how to take on life's resistance. And the only way, in my opinion, to truly understand that is you got to be able to handle resistance on a daily basis of some kind. You know, there's different forms of resistance that can come at you. There's different forms of resistance that you can have if you are a wrestler, if you are doing MMA, if you're doing some sort of grappling or jiu-jitsu or kickboxing or boxing. Those things still kind of fall in the category of resistance training. There's a resistance against you. There's something to fight against. Without something to fight against, there's nothing to fight for. People need a weight to pull. Do you understand what I'm saying? People need a weight to pull. And this is why people aren't prepared. It's because they don't have anything that they're responsible for. Lift a load. Pick something up. Pick something up that's heavy. I recently heard Jordan Peterson say, he said, "I might be useless, but at least I can pick that up and move that over from there to there, from point A to point B." How simple is that? Right? What a great philosophy that is. Jordan Peterson is spitting out some of the best information that I've heard in a long time. Some of the best information, period. And he's using a lifting analogy like that, but yet you're going into the gym and you're not using the lessons of the iron. You're not letting the lessons of the iron build your iron will. You're not allowing it. You're not accepting of it. Be accepting of it. It's there for you. Go ahead and do a set of 25, 30 reps on a squat. Tell me what you learned. Tell me what you felt. When you got to rep number 15 and you're like, "No way. There's not a chance in hell that I'm going to make it to 25 reps." And then you did. Or even you made it to 23 or 24 reps. You needed a little bit of help with extra few reps. You learn a lot about yourself in that moment. And you learn a lot more about yourself in that moment than you can anywhere else. Going to go back to the beginning. When opportunity knocks, do not answer the door in your bathrobe. I know it's a funny analogy, but be prepared. Be ready. Be ready for what life has. Train through it. Live through it. I was dyslexic. I was learning disabled. I was fat. I was out of shape. Couldn't get a chick to look my way. Lift through it. Lift through it all. I've lifted through it all. I've lifted through it all. And so if I go on my Instagram page and I do a social media victory lap, and I talk about the success of my business, or I talk about the success that I'm having in my life, it's because I feel great. I am full of myself, but I'm also somebody that will not rest. I get myself prepared for every single day. Every day and every week is mapped out, sometimes months in advance. Get out in front. It feels so much better to be out in front than it does trying to catch up with everybody else and trying to worry about what everybody else is doing. Just trust me on this. You will feel better. Depression, anxiety, all your fears. Fear is something that you can control if you're simply just prepared. If you're prepared, you'll be in control. You'll be more in control. There are certain things that you don't have control over, but there's a lot that you have control over. Sometimes people will say, you can't choose who you fall in love with. And I realize the statement is made under several circumstances, but you kind of can. I mean, by you listening to this video right now, if this sets you in action to go train, and this sets you in action to start lifting, if this sets you in action to start a diet, then you might lose 5 pounds, you might lose 10 pounds, you might lose 20 pounds. And several months, 3 months from now, you may meet a person that you're with for the rest of your life. That's crazy. That's wild. Someone might say, that's materialistic. It is what it be, son. It is what it be. People don't want you to be sloppy. People don't want you to be a B version of yourself. Be an A version of yourself. Take some pride, raise your standards, be stronger than you were yesterday, be smarter than you were yesterday. My goal every single year is just to improve by about 10%. I'd like to improve by 10%. I think that over the last 3 or 4 years, maybe strength-wise, it's been hard to improve since I reached a pretty high level of strength, and I use some performance-enhancing drugs to get there, and I don't use those dosages anymore, and I don't eat the way that I did. I don't prepare myself to lift that way anymore. That was all preparation. That was all preparation to lift those kind of weights. But my goals have changed, so my preparation is towards different things. I actually will prepare myself. I'll prepare my thoughts to go in the gym and burn that bitch down. Go into super training gym. Don't be Mark Bell. Go into super training gym. Be a completely different person for 60, 70, 90 minutes and get that shit done and get out of there. That's actually a goal. That's actually a vision that I have. That's actually something I think about. Can you see shit that's not there yet? Can you see shit that's not there yet? Because I did. Because I prepared myself for it. I prepped myself for it. I trained myself for it. And when opportunity knocked, I whipped out a slingshot. I saw everything that the slingshot was going to do the moment that I created it. I saw into the future. It sounds insane, but other people out there that have created things can share the same thing with you. If you created music, if you wrote a song, if you wrote a poem, if you wrote a book, there's some people that get knocked in the head by this stream of consciousness and they don't know where it came from. But I can tell you where it came from. It's because you're prepared for a specific moment at a very specific time. And that's why you need to be ready. That old saying, you won't need to get ready if you're always ready. So be prepared. Be ready to go. I think I went over this enough for today. And in closing, these bugs are getting me. Mosquitoes. People are flying around. People are trying to get the train out here in Davis at the old train station. But in closing, I'm going to leave you with this. Stay prepared, stay out in front, stay in control. You'll have less pain, less anxiety. You'll be more in control of your life. The more in control you are, the better success you will have. You don't have to be a control freak about anything. You just need to be in control of yourself. Don't worry about being a little bit full of yourself, as that guy pointed out so nicely on Instagram. It's okay to be full of yourself, because you can't master yourself without being full of yourself. You have to spend time with yourself. You have to interview yourself. I know, it sounds weird. Trust me on this. You have to talk to yourself. You have to have self-talk. What is this going to look like if I treat this person this way? What is it going to look like if I do the right thing every day for the next 10 years? What is it going to look like if I try my best to do what I think is rational and reasonable on a daily basis? What if my current standards, if I just try to live up to them day in and day out, some of the values that are taught to me either by religion or by family or by a mentor, what if I just tried? What if I just tried to do it? I know people say, it's do or do not. There is no try. But you don't get any effort at all. You get no results if you don't try. You have to try. You have to start things. Anyway. Strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never a strength. And somebody just reminded me of this quote the other day, so I'll share it with you before I sign off. Multiply your hustle, multiply your muscle, and may all your shits be tapered. Thanks for listening.